Need plus aggressive grit. This is the cell where I've seen most well-intentioned financial damage actually happens. The logic like this. I'm an aggressive investor. I've done well with equity. My child's education is important. So I should put my best strategy behind my most important goal. Today we finished the need row. Grid 3, that is need bucket plus aggressive investor. Past context, if you're new, money gets split by purpose, not personality. Need, goals that cannot fail. Want is lifestyle, and aspiration is more like a dream money. Cross that with 3 temperaments and you get 9 cells. Each cell gets its own portfolio. Your risk profile can reduce risk in the need bucket. It can never increase it. So the obvious question for today is, if that's true, that the aggressive cell even exists? Well, it does exist. And the thing that creates it is the same thing that created grid 2, that is time. Let me extend the horizon from last video. Under 8 years to the goal, there is no aggressive cell. An aggressive investor with a 6-year education goal builds exactly the same portfolio as a moderate investor with a 6-year education goal. Your temperament buys you nothing here because the horizon has already set the ceiling. You're already at it. 8 to 15 years, a modest lift. 45 to 45% equity, 15 years or more. Now the cell opens properly, 60 to 75% equity in a need goal. Why? Because over 15 plus year holding period, the relationship between equity and your goal changes character. Over 3 years, equity is a threat to a need goal. Over 20 years, not holding equity is a threat because inflation compounds relentlessly against you, and a debt-heavy 20-year portfolio has a very real chance of arriving at a deadline short in real terms. So the classic legitimate grid 3 goal is retirement, 20 plus years out. It is unambiguously a need. You will absolutely need to eat at 70. And it should absolutely run equity heavy today. Let me name the 4 versions of this I actually see. Because if you recognize yourself in one of these, that's the value of video right there. 1, the catch-up trap. This is a big one. You're behind on a need goal. A corpus won't get you there at a sensible return, so you increase risk to close the gap. This is precisely backwards. A funding shortfall is a contribution problem. If you're behind, the honest options are contribute more, extend the deadline, or reduce the target, not take on more risk. Second, small caps as a education fund. Small cap SIPs into a 7-year because the last 5 years look spectacular. Small caps have historically had drawdowns and recovery cycles that comfortably exceed 7 years. Third is the concentration in a need goal. 3 or 4 stocks the person knows well and knows genuinely well. The analysis may even be correct, but a need goal has a date. A single company thesis has no obligation to be right on that date. Being right eventually is a fine outcome in the aspiration bucket. It is failed outcome in the need bucket. Fourth, illiquidity with a deadline. Unlisted shares, pre-IPO allocation, real estate for a dated goal. Here the problem isn't even the return. It's that you cannot reliably convert it to cash on the date you need it. That's the line to hold on to. Even at 75% in a need goal, the equity itself stays broad, diversified, liquid. Index funds, large and broad, market core, a flexi cap alongside. What changes across the 3 cell is the proportion. As an example, let's say you're 38, retirement at 62 years, target corpus 6 crores in future rupees. You have around 35 lakhs already earmarked for it. So step 1 is check when. This is 22 years. That's comfortably in the 15 plus year back. We'll say 70% equity, 30% debt. Step 2, 12% on equity and 6.5% on debt. The blended comes out to be 10.5% returned yearly. The gap is about 2 crore 90, which needs a monthly contribution of around 28,000 rupees on a monthly basis. That same 38-year-old has a daughter starting college in 6 years. That money is also a neat money. Same person, same aggressive temperament, same risk profile. It gets 35% equity maximum. It's a grid 2 portfolio because it's 6 years. That's the entire framework. Aggressive has an expiry date on a dated goal for 22-year retirement, years 22 to 10. Hold 70% equity, rebalance annually on a fixed date, year 10. Step 2, 55, year 7. Step to 40, year 5. Step to 30, and year 3, 15 to 0. Short-term duration debt from here on. Notice something about this in a row: conservative, moderate, aggressive. Three completely different profile at the start, and in the last 3 years before the deadline, all three starts converging together. The grid collapses as one single line. Every need goal ends into a short-term duration debt, regardless of who owns it. Mistake 1: letting one long horizon goal license every need goal. Your retirement corpus legitimately runs 70%. That does not travel. The education fund, the down payment, the medical corpus, each gets gated on its own horizon. People correctly justify aggression once and then apply it everywhere. Mistake number 2: not starting the glide because I am too aggressive. Aggression is a starting position on a dated goal, but not a permanent one. If you're still at 70%, 5 years out from the goal, you don't have an aggressive need profile, you have an unmanaged one. Mistake number 3: confusing conviction with suitability. You may genuinely be right about a stock sector theme. The need bucket doesn't reward being right, it rewards being on time. 1. Under 8 years, the aggressive sell doesn't exist. You build the moderate portfolio. 15-year plus, it opens fully, 60 to 75%, and a need goal is entirely correct. 2. Aggression changes the proportion of equity, never its character. 3. Your real lever is overfunding. Fund the requirement to the horizon gate and run the surplus in an aggressive way. And with that, the need column is complete. 3 videos, 3 portfolios, 1 non-negotiable principle. The deadline outranks the temperament. Next video, we move to want role, and the mood changes completely because for the first time, your temperament is genuinely allowed to lead. That's where this framework gets more interesting and a lot more personal. Subscribe as you get the rest of it.